the Queen's chamber. It's good like that. You move the tomographic line, you integrate,
Sure.
and you perform a 3D reconstruction. But
Yeah.
to do this, we need the computer, Jeffrey.
Right.
We need a rise of GPUs that at the moment I don't have.
What's the word you're using? A rise of GPUs? A rise.
An
Got
array,
it.
no?
Array.
A mainframe like that.
Okay, an array of GPUs. That's what I thought it was saying. Okay, got it.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
No, it's okay.
no,
It's
no,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need more compute essentially, and you need to do this, be able to do this in real time,
If
live.
I have thousands of GPU, we can do it.
So how much, out of curiosity, how much money would that require?
I can't tell you now. I don't know. But
What if there's an investor in the audience that wants to help you out? Is there a certain amount that would help you?
maybe with I don't know, with I don't know, millions, in the order of millions. Yes.
Okay.
We can have. We will speak about the foundation that we are standing in Malta, setting up in Malta. We have rented a nice place where we have installed a solar power station, and inside there we would like to set up a data center. And there, if we have donators, we can buy a mainframe with an array of GPUs.
Well, we should, just for humanity, somebody should do this, not for profit, but
for human,
to like
the foundation works. Philanthropic.
No, it seems like money well spent. If you're, you want to go kind of Carnegie gospel of wealth, this should be like the first on your list. So and what you're working on too.
With the three computers that you saw in my house, we can do this.
Yeah. So, but what do you say, Jeffrey? To
and they are also expensive,
Yeah,
those computers.
Got it. Oh, there you go. Okay, that's established. Jeffrey, what do you say to Filippo's point that the Grand Gallery is actually detected? It's just one vertical slice, and you do see the air.
Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second.
You see that the Grand Gallery is blue because you have air inside the Grand Gallery.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess he's saying here.
Yeah, the Grand Gallery is vacant inside.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the other things I wanted to point out here. So this signature above, and this big signature
that's
here.
The big void.
The big void.
Yes, and we have detected the big void also.
Yes.
That's the big void.
And we'll get to that in a comparison between the location of the big void suggested by the Muon team and the position that has been detected by the SAR team. It's slightly different.
In my personal opinion, that is the big void.
This
because
one,
it's located,
or the big one here?
The big one there.
The big one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Muon team is saying that it's located directly above the Grand Gallery, the position of the big void, that they're actually going to be excavating into the Great Pyramid in 2026 to investigate the big void. So an actual exploration is coming up to get a chance to see what's in there.
Okay.
So again, I'm just objectively looking at these things. I do agree there's a fantastic signature here. Yeah. And we talked about this too, Filippo, at the Malta conference, that it's a different in the slice.
Yeah.
If you move the slice, you might be able to better detect it. So another thing here is tag 17 and 18.
That's fantastic in my personal opinion.
Which is
very nice.
I have it again in a slide. Okay, so let's look at the position. So here's the configuration of the Great Pyramid, and this is the vertical alignment of the chambers. So you can see, if you were to scan the tomographic line at the far left of the King's Chamber, you would only pick up the King's Chamber and not pick up any of the other stuff. If you scan on the far right of the King's Chamber, you should pick up all of the components because everything would be aligned in the same tomographic slice.
Yep.
You cannot detect the King's Chamber without also picking up the Grand Gallery, Queen's Chamber, subterranean.
Multiple scans,
correct. Yeah. There's
it's
also
why the array of GPUs.
Sure. But this is kind of an explanation for why that may be the case. is the different slices that break it down.
Could have been on the left.
You may do a slice down the middle that picks up the king's chamber and the queen's chamber here and here, but it doesn't pick up the grand gallery.
Yep.
So this is an explanation for why we get register of certain chambers with different tomographic lines, because we're just slicing down the middle. And the slice doesn't always land on all three simultaneously. Okay, so the next one here is the discovery of this new passage.
Yeah.
Right? On the northern side of the Great Pyramid. They just
This
drilled.
I have to say this. We discovered it for the first time.
So
that's amazing. Is that true?
So let me explain what we have here. So we have tag 17 and tag 18, which is showing this little passage here.
That's the corridor.
Yep, right here. And it starts right here under the chevrons, which is where they found this passage. And we have an overlay of the chevrons and the new passage that was discovered. My only issue on this is that the signature actually starts out here.
Yeah.
You know,
those are multiple reflections of the radar.
So reflections of the radar.
Yes, multiple reflection. The interaction of the electromagnetic waves from the floor of the pyramid and the pyramid can give you multiple reflections. It's normal.
Okay.
And that multiple reflections affects also the tomographic line.
Okay, so you're saying reflections of the radar can create signatures that would appear similar to the signature of an actual chamber.
No, it can be mitigated only having multiple scans. And so you can average your results and you see absolutely better.
Okay. I'm with you. Yeah, all right.
It's simple. The best signature you have it on the chevron, and you are detecting the chevron. Look,
here.
Why
right
I'm
here.
saying you multiple?
And
because you have the pyramid, then you have the chevron like that, and you have the other, and there you have such multipath of the radar.
Are you saying that tag 18 wasn't even known by conventional?
No, it was known. The chevrons are visible on the outside.
Tag 17 was not known.
Yeah, so they recently.
And what is tag 17?
It's just it's a dead end shaft. You can see the overlay of it here.
A corridor.
Yeah. So they recently.
That's remarkable that he discovered it. Basically through is that correct?
Before that
they detected it. This was detected by the team in 2020. And they recently went inside of this with a microscopic camera. They drilled in below the chevrons to look into this dead end. It's a dead end shaft on the northern side of the Great Pyramid.
Well, that's impressive.
And if you go to the result, if you switch off the overlay, you can detect also the top of the corridor and the floor of the corridor. There are two lines.
Yeah, the top here and the bottom here.
And you can measure also.
Yeah.
And if you compare the measurements with the video, because they scan it, are the same. And then you see that is 9 meters long. I don't remember, but it's 9 meters long. There is something, a piece of stone that goes. But here you can see what there is over that piece of stone, which is, I tell you,
here.
This one. And I am waiting somebody that is discovering that anti-camera.
Anti-camera, anti-chamber? What?
Anti-chamber. It's a chamber. I call it anti-camera.
Okay.
It's a chamber.
Okay.
And that chamber goes directly to the Grand Gallery. Okay? And then allows you, for me, also to go naturally to the big void. That is the real position of the big void, is that one.
Okay.
Jeffrey, the future will give what
No, you're
what is able to give.
You are staking a claim. I love it.
So Matt Bell from the Limitless podcast is involved in financing of the development of robotics to investigate the shafts in the Queen's chamber.
Cool.
They're going to be sending a robot up the northern shaft to drill in the comparable feature known as Gattenbrink's door, which was investigated in the southern shaft. They're going to be drilling through a new piece with a new robot on the northern side. And they're also collaborating on the investigation of the big void. So they will be, hopefully, it's been approved, but everything keeps getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back as things happen in Egypt, supposedly on the table for 2026, that they're actually going to be drilling into and investigating the big void.
That's remarkable. And I think, it sounds like Filippo's making a prediction there. I do think it's amazing that Tag 17, this corridor dead end shaft, he's sort of, they made a claim there and they found it.
Yeah. So
That's
this was
pretty cool.
2020. This was before the recent, I believe this was detected with the Muon scans.
Yes.
The Muon
Okay.
scanning. So the Muon group,
Yes.
the Scan Pyramids Project, is the sanctioned and approved scanning team that they have used for these projects. They really only collaborate with this Scan Pyramids team. We were just talking off camera about how much we're both enjoying this conversation.
So
And a lot of people
love it.
have misinterpreted my questioning of the data as disbelief or an attempt to debunk, but that's not really the case at all. And they they don't understand that we have an existing relationship. And again,
it is true that it's good that we discuss about the results,
course.
because the results is not like a religion. No, it is
No.
something that
No, I
we can discuss.
I love that. Yeah, first, the fact that you're saying it's not a sacred cow or a third rail, it's just a thing you can talk about and, you can criticize and you can defend and, it's all good. That's a beautiful thing, that commitment to the kind of, Socratic process. But I was also, Jeffrey and I were talking, I think a lot of these discussions go into it's always framed as adversarial. It's always skeptic and debunker versus person making some bold claim, and then the skeptic doesn't even look at the assertions and make first principles arguments. It turns into this kind of, it devolves into ad hominems, and you get into these high level heuristics of probabilistically this thing can't be true or whatever. And what I love about this conversation is, and then we can get out of the meta and get back into the first principle, but it's that you are really just asking questions that I think everybody wants to know that are at the first principles level. And they're reasonable questions.
I'm captivated by this process. Again, when I found this in 2022, I was like, this is super important. Whether it's true or it's not, it's the development of new technology and an approach that could eventually be implemented into something very significant, which is the purpose of all the videos that I've made about this. Have prefaced it with saying, this is the type of technology we need. We're on the precipice of a greater understanding using unique methodology to understand the structures that's going to get us to the deeper understanding.
Yes.
And Filippo, you said during the conversation that it's still in the initial stages.
Yes.
And there's improvements that can be made with the technology, further investigations that need to happen.
We need hardware. We need a lot of hardware. Hardware and power.
Can I ask one thing actually before we get back into this, which is, speaking of skeptics, I did watch Flint Dibble's video about you, and I found a lot of it to be a little ridiculous. But there were certain points he made which I think were
we can discuss now. If you remember
I do remember. I remember one point which I found very valid. Well, one of the points was like it's too hot to build that deep. It's too hot to build artificial structure. So that felt reasonable, and we can get to that.
It is connected to the heat is connected to our research project, that the third part of this research going in situ, but we will discuss at the end of this conversation.
Okay.
Sorry,
so a little teaser there. No. So let's definitely circle back on that. And then the second one, which I think relates more to this discussion we were just having around the commercial use cases of this technology, is he said you let your patents expire. Is that true?
Yes, my initial patent at the moment is expired. Absolutely, yes. Maybe we can recover this. In the United States, we give you is also the technology that is behind the software. No, the software is crucial in this deal. So
got it.
Yes, patent, no patent, but you need the software.
Okay, yeah, and that's a good answer, because you speak to most people in fields of aerospace or kind of hard science, and they'll always say patents are barely enforceable. It's really about trade secrets, and it's about knowing how to do something that no one else is going to figure out. It's not really about the patent. So